We are now in Turkey, close to the Burdur Lake, where the rose plantations are for Weleda. We started in 2002 with 20 farmers. Now we have around 250 farmers who are growing biologically the roses for Weleda. We have biological quality, we treat the people very fair, and we have a very good cooperation. So everybody, I think, is very happy with this project.
The Weleda garden is the largest biodynamically operated medicinal plants garden in Europe. It is situated 5 kilometers to the north of Schwäbisch Gmünd. With its ponds, helpful insects and birds, it is a rich biotope. Cultivation and harvesting are certified according to ecological cultivation and Demeter guidelines. In July every year, the big calendula harvest takes place. Calendula, or marigold, is a very vital medicinal plant, blossoming profusely during many months. The exuberantly growing foliage is an expression of its strong vitality. As a contrast, the blossoms have a clear structure. Here the forming powers are prevailing. These two polar forces are a sign of the healing properties of the plant. An inflamed wound also is a sign of excess vitality, perceived as warmth or itching. What is missing in the wound is the forming forces. The strong forming forces of the calendula blossom help the human organism to re-establish order, which means healing. The baskets filled with freshly harvested plants are being weighed and transported to the plant processing department.
At Weleda, we use a vast range of about 800 different ingredients. In creating our Weleda recipes, the quality of the processes involved is essential. A perfumer usually sells an illusory world, and here people take it a step further. I really appreciate that. Biodynamic cultivation is a highly modern farming method because it combines old knowledge with new techniques. We use a range of preparations, one of which is horn silica. This is stirred for an hour and then sprayed onto the plant. This preparation aids the light processes in the plant. The quality of ingredients is laboratory tested according to analytical parameters using state-of-the-art technology. Analyzing the essential oils is tricky. It requires not only state-of-the-art equipment, for example gas chromatography and mass spectroscopy, but also qualified staff, which very few firms are prepared to invest in. For example, when you use birch cellulite oil, large areas of the skin come into contact with it. So Weleda tests these valuable ingredients even more rigorously than the European pharmacopoeia requires, and ensures that these precious fragrances are of a very high quality. This guarantee is very important. Other companies can buy natural fragrances too. Weleda customers buy products which are produced under sustainable conditions. Weleda has developed a wealth of plant knowledge over more than 90 years. We pass this on to our suppliers. A good example of this is the cultivation of damask roses in Turkey. The advice given in the change to new cultivation methods was based on the question, how can roses be cultivated ecologically again? We started off in the Esparta region. Of 300 small-scale farmers who showed an interest, 30 had the courage to give it a go. There are now 350 farmers involved, and the project is developing under its own dynamic. When looking at sea buckthorn, we came across Kurt Kunze, a world-renowned sea buckthorn expert. He bred and grew the optimum varieties in our wonderful climate to meet our quality requirements. When we first start work on a fragrance, there is a fragrance briefing with information about the target group, all the preparations anthroposophical ratio. Developing fragrances is like composing a symphony. I begin on paper, create a fragrance chord, imagine a harmony, search for the hue of the fragrance, and then proceed to the weighing scales. That is where the perfumer's actual work begins. Creating perfumes at Weleda is hard work from the perfumer's point of view. Essential oils are in themselves a complex mix of a variety of components. It's much more difficult to find the exact right balance of these than it is to work with isolated fragrances. But I believe that the particular quality of essential oils lies in their strength, which can really touch me deep down. That's why it's always a challenge to find just the right mix. Weleda quality is in tune with people and nature, so customers do themselves and the natural world some good. The quality of our ingredients comes from, among other things, the harmonious way in which the plants grow. This gives them a vitality which can be found again in our medicines and cosmetics. We set great store by the freshness of the plants we use. That's why the harvest begins early in the morning. Then the plants are processed, still fresh with dew, without being transported long distances. Many of the ingredients cannot be bought in large quantities, just like that. Jojoba, which takes 5 to 7 years before it can be harvested, is an example which demonstrates that we have planned well and are currently well insured against scarcity of raw materials. Weleda is the world market leader in the production of anthroposophical medicines and of natural cosmetics.
The rosa mosquito, also known as the wild rose, comes from South America and is the secret of Weleda's wild rose care. Here in the Andes of Chile, the wild rose has kept spreading for over 4 centuries. Due to its high vitamin contents, it has always been used to make it into tea or foodstuff. Less than 20 years ago, it was discovered that the little kernels contain an extremely precious oil. The rosehip kernel oil contained in the Weleda wild rose products is obtained exclusively from controlled and bio-certified plants growing wild. Freshly harvested wild rose fruits from the surrounding region are delivered to the Puelche company. Maureen Welch, junior principal of Puelche in Los Angeles, knows how precious the little fruits are. We use the rosa mosquito in all parts. We make tea and obtain vitamin C extracts from the pods. The seeds are then further processed to make the rosa mosquito oil. The fresh fruit are then dried by hot air in big ovens. After the sorting out process, the fruit pods and kernels are separated in a machine. The plant concentrates its entire energy in the seeds. The intensive sunlight in the Andes of Chile is a decisive factor to obtain the excellent quality of the rosa mosquito oil. Between 80 and 90% of the oil consists of precious unsaturated fatty acid. The analytical chemist Dr. Junichi Nonaka has been responsible for the development of cosmetic products in Weleda since more than 20 years. Before turning towards natural science, he was a professional concert musician. Today, the Japanese combines composition and knowledge to realize the demanding formulae of the Weleda cosmetics. In all products, Weleda consequently does not make use of any synthetic scent, colour or preservation agents. Stringent quality controls before and during the production guarantee best product quality. Dr. Nonaka is here producing the creamy wild rose milk, an oil in water emulsion. And what's being hidden in the little perfume bottles? In the province of Isparta in Turkey, for more than 100 years, the local farmers have been cultivating the sweetly smelling Damascene rose in order to obtain the fine, warm rose scent. In this field, the women harvest very special roses. Here in the Turkish Lake Country, biological Damascene roses are being cultivated on meanwhile more than 120 hectares, a result of the successful Weleda cultivation project. Within 4 years, almost 300 farmers have switched over from conventional to biocultivation. Weleda guarantees long-term contracts and stable prices. Weleda buys approximately 1/5 of the entire production of the rose extract Rose Absolu on the world market. The farmers meet regularly in the tea house to review the project. Here they learn about the special features of biological rose cultivation. For example, how to fight pests with the use of animals, how to replace expensive synthetic fertilizers by natural manure, and how to keep an eye on the plants. Ralph Unal, advisor for biological dynamic farming in Turkey, is supporting them. As a Weleda freelancer, he trains and advises the farmers. The families have meanwhile realized how the quality of life of the human beings and nature has perceptibly improved over the years. Ralph Unal takes care of the farmers directly in the fields before and during the harvesting times.
Confidence and the guarantee by Weleda to buy the product have led to a fruitful bio-rose project in the region of Isparta. The farmers have rediscovered their love for the environment and cooperation with nature. This professional work was very successful, so that the project is now in great demand.
The rose flowers harvested during the early morning hours are transported to the distillation unit of Hussein Kinachi and are then immediately processed. Hussein is one of the Weleda contract partners and has a role model function in the region. He was able to win the cooperation of many farmers for the project. More than 400 tons of the roses that are processed here are coming from biologic cultivation. Hussein explains it this way.
My conviction is that the biological cultivation of roses is going to have a great future. This is why we cooperate with Weleda.
His son, Suleiman Kinachi, is a chemist. He controls and analyzes the essential rose oil in his laboratory.
In this glass of Rose Absolue for Weleda, we have the scent of 300,000 biological Damascene rose flowers.
And Dr. Nonaka? He's about to complete the wild rose care lotion with the scent of 1001 Nights. The quality of the Weleda body care is oriented at the stringent criteria that are also applicable to the Weleda medicines. Weleda is an international corporation producing at 3 production sites in Switzerland, Germany and France. A network of Weleda companies and representations is making sure that the wild rose care is available worldwide.
Very special plants and fruits flourish for Weleda in the sun of the Maremma in Tuscany, one of Italy's best wine-growing areas. Sea buckthorn, the bright berries of this wild and thorny bush contain the pure stored energy of the sun, vitamin complexes, oils and precious trace elements. On the San Mario estate, Kurt Kunze has managed to biodynamically rear types of sea buckthorn cultivated from wild plants. In July and August, a team of 10 harvests the various types of sea buckthorn from a cultivated area of over 100 hectares. The shoots, heavy with fruit, are immediately transported to a cold storage warehouse so that their valuable ingredients are preserved in their entirety until the berries are processed. In order to achieve optimal quality, completely new equipment and processing methods had to be developed, as the holistic quality of the sea buckthorn berries has to be guaranteed through to the final product. The threshing machine separates the frozen berries from the twigs and leaves without damaging them. At the end of the separation process, the deep frozen berries are immediately returned to the cold storage warehouse. Weleda can then mix the various sorts of berries and press juices and oils from them as required. A ton of berries produces 650 litres of pure sea buckthorn juice. The juice has a well-rounded flavour and contains all the valuable ingredients, such as the vitamins C and E and carotenoids. But the berries also produce the natural pulp of the fruit and the kernel oil, both used in body care products. Long live the sun, which creates such a wonderful light, said the French painter Paul Cézanne. And long live the plants that can transform that light so wonderfully. For the energy of the sun stored in the sea buckthorn is truly effective, both from within and without. From the outside, Weleda's sea buckthorn body care products take effect thanks to the precious pulp of the fruit and the kernel oil of the sea buckthorn berries. From within, Weleda's sea buckthorn vital syrup takes effect with a wonderful harmony of ingredients which strengthen the individual's performance naturally.